What's up YouTube, Capital G here, looking at some new Gladiator Beast Fusion monsters coming out of the Collector's Pack 2017. If you watch Art V the anime, you knew that these were coming. If you remember when the Lancers went to the Fusion Dimension and they were in the Academia, they ended up having a run-in with the Battle Beast guy. He plays Glads, and yeah, he played both of these fusions, but in addition to that, he played a bunch of new cards. Like, he had that Castle card, and I'm pretty much expecting us to get not just these fusions, but probably, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 5 new Gladiator Beast cards. He played a lot of spells in that duel versus like Yuya and Jack, Jack Atlas was in there as well. I believe, yeah, Crow dueled against him for a hot second as well. And Crow, and you know what, I don't even want to get into like the anime spoilers and whatnot. Let's go ahead and look at the cards. 2 new fusions. I've read them both. I will say off of the jump, they're pretty difficult to make, but they are extremely powerful. Like, they actually allow Glads to do some pretty fucking explosive plays, especially this guy if you can actually get him out. So Gladiator Beast Andabate, this is a Dark Beast Warrior fusion, level 8, 1000 attack, 2800 defense. Oh man, I wish those stats were reversed. I mean, the stat line it's okay, you know, I mean, it can tag out, so its stat line isn't really that important. It requires a Gladiator Beast Augustus plus 2 more Gladiator Beast monsters. Must first be special summoned by, you know, yada yada yada. You guys know that. Basically, they're saying contact fuse with it. Effect number 1, if this card is special summoned this way, you can special summon 1 level 7 or lower Gladiator Beast fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. That effect is actually fucking bonkers because it allows you to summon Grazaris straight from your extra deck and below 2 cards up on your opponent's side of the field. I love it because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't say that monster summoned from your extra deck can't attack. It doesn't say it can't activate its effect. It can still do everything that you want it to do. So that is actually pretty damn dope that you just get to summon a Grazaris. That's pretty damn impressive. Then it says the second effect, at the end of the battle phase of discard battle, you can return it to your extra deck and then summon 2 GBs from your deck. That's really cool because some of the high level Glad Beast fusion monsters like Azadari, Heraclinos, they obviously can't tag out, but it's cool because if you fusion summon for this guy, if you contact for him, you could bring out a Grazaris, you can nuke 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. Then you could go for your battle phase. You could tag this guy out for a Bestiari and I don't know, any other random GB, let's say a quest to get something from your graveyard, and then in your main phase 2 you could make another Grazaris. So you could actually Grazaris your opponent twice just by going into this card and attacking. That's pretty cool. Now, a lot of people might not actually know what Augustus is. It's a pretty old card. He's a big GB. He's level 80. He is kind of clunky to play with, and his effect isn't all that useful. He summons a monster from your hand in defense position. It has to be a Glad Beast, but you do have the ability to just summon him from your deck if you just run one to copy, and if you do happen to draw him, you can play Gladiator Beast Respite. Like, I don't really think Augustus is a bad card, especially considering he does have the 2600 stat line, and you could draw him, you could discard him for Twin Twister, then you could put him back in your hand with something like Gladiator Beast Quest. Like, this is not a bad card, especially if you're just running one copy to potentially, you know, summon this in case that actually happens to come up. I wish that this card's stat line was reversed, because giving up 3 monsters for a 1000 attacker feels kind of shitty. Like Heraclinos, you give up 3 monsters for that, but it is 3000 attack, and you are giving up a monster that's 2600 attack, so that seems counterproductive as fuck, but you do get a Grazaris out of it, so it's not that bad of a deal. And again, this guy can tag out, which I definitely like. Then we have the Gladiator Beast Tamer Editor. This is a Dark Beast Warrior, level 8. This is 2400 attack and 3000 defense. So again, seems to be a trend of making their defenses higher than the attacks, which I'm not particularly in love with, but 2400 attack for a level 8 is not that bad. This one is actually a lot stronger than this. It's just a lot more difficult to make. It requires 2 level 5 or higher Gladiator Beast monsters. Must first be special summoned by your, well, you know what, just contact fusion. I'm just going to say that to shorten it down. Effect number 1, once per turn, you can special summon 1 Gladiator Beast fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, except itself. I read that and I was like, holy fuck. At least with this guy and the Bande, they at least put a restriction on it, saying that you can only get level 7s or higher, and that's only, you know, when this card is, you know, fusion summon. Like, this guy is once per turn, so if you can keep this card on the field, this can basically be a 1-card win condition. fusion, not only does it allow you to bring out Grazaris, but it can actually bring out a copy of like a Heraclinos. That's pretty damn strong. And the second effect says at the end of the battle phase, if a GB monster you control battled, you can shuffle one of those monsters into the main or extra deck and then summon a GB monster from your main deck. This is actually cool because if you happen to have one of those GBs that can't tag out, let's just say for some random reason you're playing Gladiator Beast Andal or something like that, or you just want to tag out your Heraclinos that you just summoned. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you fucking wanted to do it, this card allows you to tag that monster out. It actually allows it to tag out itself. I probably wouldn't because it seems like this card just prints advantage every single turn. The only thing about it is it requires 2 level 5s or higher, and a lot of GB decks, well, most GB decks don't even play level 5s at all, even though Augustus is not that bad. And we are going to be getting this new Gladiator Beast card called Gladiator Beast Noxious. It's okay. It's kind of like a Gladiator Beast Battle Fader type deal. You can't really, like, you summon it based off of blocking kind of a direct attack. If you could summon Azadari, the level 5 fusion monster that's summoned by contact and basically has the Stardust stats, if you could summon him from instant fusion, this card would be dope as fuck because it would be so easy to make. You could just summon Augustus, you could instant fusion, you could bring out your Tamer, and then you'd be able to just Grazaris your opponent and you'd have so much damage on the board. But you guys know all Glad Beast monsters basically have to be contact fused outside of, you know, these 2 effects. But I think that these cards are interesting. Maybe, I mean, it's pretty clear. I'm not even gonna say maybe. It's pretty clear that Konami wants you to embrace the newer cards, and they're building these new fusions to be played with the new monsters. So what do you guys think? In my opinion, based on this, I don't think Konami intends for Gladiator Beast ever to become like a very high tier 1 deck again. I think they understand, hey, the GX era was the deck's time of dominance. If they really wanted to make Glads high tier, they could have just taken these cards, they could have left the effects the way they are, and they could have just literally changed the summoning conditions. They could have just made this guy any 2 Gladiator Beasts. This card would have been just fucking insane, and they could have just made this like a Bestiari plus like any 1 Glad Beast, and this card would have been insane as well. Overall, I think Glads will be kind of fun. It will be interesting to see if they get the other spells that they had in the anime. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.